about it. And so maybe, it'll help someone as they are moving forward. And so we're good. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Let's see. Okay, this is Beasley's. Oh, okay. He just sent me something. Well, he probably sent it to me early and it's just coming through. And I know we live, but I was just sharing with some of the leadership of the ministry. We have Brother Fantastic, and he is so tremendous. I saw the brother the other day, and he was out there cutting somebody's grass. That grass had to be almost 1.5 feet high. I was like, do he owe that man money? Because the man looked big, husky, and healthy. And so I stopped him because I come down to the church, and then I went back, and his truck was still up there. So I started talking to him, and he told me he was cutting the grass, and he was going to donate the money to the food bank. And so we're in August, and one of the challenges is sometimes we start doing things, and we do them because it's exciting. And so I wanted to share a little bit earlier with everyone about the food bank, and also a point about leadership, is that he went and cut somebody. So how long did it take you? About an hour, hour and a half? Took about 2+ hours. Well, anybody's more was lower than that grass he had. And so he, but don't cut it now if he ain't gonna give you no money now. You get your money first, because you be out there in that hot sun. Titus might be them to set the house on fire. Well, anyway, he cut it, and he said he was gonna give the money to the food bank. And I just wanted to give an update on the food bank. And my numbers may not be accurate. It may actually be a little bit beneath. But I want to thank all of you and welcome you all in. But the food bank, we try to feed at least 25+ families a week. And with, I don't even really know how to call it, with this pandemic that we're still in, I don't know if we're in the middle of it, if we are 2/3 way to it. I think someone had given us information that it takes about 2.5 years to come through a pandemic. Well, everybody then put his or herself or their family in a bad position. Sometimes things happen beyond your comprehension and your ability. And so we want to thank all of you in advance and ask you again to help us. It is a monthly thing. It is a monthly thing that we do. So any canned goods, any non-perishable, you can send a donation through houseofreconciliation.org. That's the website. You can also cash out us at House of Reconciliation. You can bring food if you are a member or a virtual campus person and you set a box up. You can ship it to us or whatever, because in Greenwood County, which is the rural area, pretty much still based on agriculture, I believe it's still registered as, people need help. And it is not a handout. It is feeding families. And you may be blessed, and I thank God that you are. But the Bible talks about it's more blessed to give than to receive. So we thank you for all of your support, and we look forward to this month again, in the month of August, that you will help the House of Reconciliation at 210 Pansy Road, Hodges, South Carolina, to support the Greenwood Food Bank. We're at 1427 Launch Road, Suite E. The name on the building is I Am Church. That's under Bishop Jeff Akers. And we worship there every Wednesday from 7 p.m. until 7:45, and every Sunday morning from 8:30 until 9:45. You can bring your canned goods and just drop them off, because what we're trying to do is to support it. Now, we do have, I think it's 5 core programs that we are, as we began to relaunch the ministry. Those are Adopt a School, because I had no idea until we were a part of Thomas C. Kearns Elementary School that so many of our young children do not have the proper things to go to school on a daily basis. So we have now in Greenwood, I think it's Hodges Elementary School, the first one that we have adopted, to help with that. We also have Shoes for Africa. I am looking for a director to put over that program. So now that we have the major contact, we will be coming probably in September for a donation for shoes to go to Africa. Then we have seniors, we have action for seniors. And so there's an opportunity there. Then we have missions in Haiti. We normally sponsor clothes. I completely forgot. We do have a letter. Staff, please remind me that we can have that read on Sunday from a family that was overwhelmed by the love and the clothing that we were able to support their family. And I think it's 5, but I can't remember them all right out the bat. I just wanted to start early because I thought it was a good moment. And I actually learned this from Bishop T.D. Jakes. And so Brother Fantastic, he came to me like last week and he said, there's some wasps in the window. And I said, okay. And so what happens a lot of times when you're in leadership, everyone thinks that you should fix everything and do everything. And so they feel like once they give it to you, they're done with it. And Bishop Jakes, in leading a church on the move, and it's the Word of Flame, is something he produced in VHS, which a lot of my audience may not know what a VHS tape is, but it was on there. And he said, when you're in leadership, even if you're a support staff or a member, dumping everything on the leadership is not always the best practice. And then people sit back and say, well, what, why, when do you do this? Why you do? I told you. And so I shared with him, Brother Fantastic, I said, so what's the solution? Bishop Jakes taught back in the 90s, if there is a problem, you need to come to leadership with the problem and at least 5 suggestions, 5 ways of doing it. And he said this, and you can go back, now with the technology we have, you can probably go find it. I think it was on series 1. And he said, I may massage it, but at least you gave me something to work with. Just don't give me the problem. Don't say the church vacuum is broke. Okay? That's not my skill. And then be arguing, well, you didn't fix the vacuum cleaner. Well, if you have just 10 people in the ministry and all 10 gave you 2 things, when do you do what you're supposed to do? So I shared with him, and then he came back to me today with something, and I said, what'd you do with those walls? And he got real quiet. I said, so you still waiting on me? I empowered you to find the solution. Then he began to tell me what they said. I'm not talking about they. I don't know who they are. I'm talking about you. If you have the stuff, get it done. You know, because, you know, it's like, well, you know, I want you to know that the sink leaking. Bring a solution. Bring some seeds, and we can figure it out. So that's what I was sharing with you about what Bishop Jakes said. Just don't come to me with the problem. He said, he said something, an experience where they were traveling, and this is, I don't know if he was in West Virginia at the time or if he was in Dallas, and he was like, they had 4 or 5 buses, and they had broken down. I don't know which way it was. And he said, instead of coming to, oh, Belleville, the bus broke down. He said, what you should do is say, hey, Pastor, the bus broke down, but we got 12 vans on the way. Not just give somebody the problem. So we're going to talk a little bit about tonight. I have a new segment, and if my wonderful brother is listening, Daniel O'Neill Cohen, who's out in Hawaii, don't think that I've forgotten about it, because we're going to write a book called The Shrinking Window. He's going to help with that, have some awesome information that is tremendous, that I asked him to help co-author the book with me. And so I wanted to share that with you, but it's kind of a mixed bag tonight, because I want to set up something for this month of August. So I'm going to do the introduction, and then we're going to move on. But if one word you want to write down, well, two words, is seed. And the next, shifting times. And so we've been dealing with conflict on the cliff. And so what I want to do is welcome all of us into another opportunity to gain and advance our lives with successful living. This broadcast season is Don't Gamble with Your Inheritance or Your Future or Your Children's Future. And the reason that I say that is that there is something in your family, there's some diamonds there that haven't been polished and rubbed. And if you will Google what a diamond looks like before it's polished, and it doesn't become valuable until it meets friction. And so what we're going to do in this series, this next level of the series of Conflict on the Cliff, we're shifting from conflict on the cliff to shifting times. So what happens is, when it says don't gamble with your inheritance, just don't walk away and feel like everything that you experienced in your childhood or whatever family that you grew up in, or whatever family that you was adopted by, or you never grew up with a family, there's still something in your DNA. This is why we have all of these ancestry things that people are looking up and inheritance things that people are looking up, because you will find out that some of the people in your family have done great things. So there is a level of greatness in all of us. The challenge is, are you open to discovering it? Because oftentimes what you want to be is not who you really are. I'll say it again. Oftentimes what you want to be is not who you really are. So here's what we got. We can't be everything to everybody and nothing to ourselves. We talked about you have a life to live, and no one else can live it for you. But here's what everybody else can do, is they can dent your dreams. And they can help you pull off the road to achieve your goals. A person doesn't have control over you, but they can institute incisions in your mind that will dent the ticking of your clock. And so since this is the 8th month of the year, supposed to be new beginnings, new day, new creations, the first day of the month, the number 1 means unity. And so in order for you or I or your sons, your daughters, your brothers, your sisters, there has to be a coming together. Not with them, but within yourself. And you and I have to see ourselves differently before you and I can walk in the difference that we now believe in. So what I want to share with you is, we started out saying stay away from the results, the hype. Stay away from those people who over praise you. And also start working on the noise in your head and the outside noise that people give you. Because sometimes people will praise you where you are so you don't go farther. Because they feel like if you go farther, you will expose them. But here's the challenge. You were born, you were put on this earth to get the best out of your life. And as the instructor of successful living, I am going to challenge you in this month to start looking at the total you. And so I'm going to give you, and I'm not really that good, but if you were in college, there's a set of words that they will give you, And I hate to mess it up because I know those that are academically sound will frown at me, but they call it, when you go to school, do they call it syllabus? Say it for me. Syllabus. Syllabus. Gotta get it right, got it right. So it gives you the curriculum of the study. And I'm going to give you some words that we're going to start working on. But I want to give you this, the outside noise, the inside noise. Here is something simple. Do you know and realize that the enemy is happy and satisfied when you are thinking or behaving negative? Ask me, what negative am I talking about against your gift? It isn't so much what you do or say to a person, and yes, that does matter. But what really matters is you're working against your gift. And how you work against your gift is sometimes you're competing with people when you should be developing your skills. Because they may be ahead of you today, but you got to remember the race isn't over, and you may be ahead of them tomorrow, but you have to remember the race isn't over, and the race isn't given to the swift. It's not about you beating your cousin. It's not about you beating your brother or your sister or you beating your spouse. It's about, are you ready for the shifting times that's coming to your life? So here's the thing, and I said this, I believe, on Sunday. We rarely ever blame the enemy, but we quickly blame God. We rarely blame, well, the enemy doesn't want me to have this. I just think in your mind, when the last time you called the devil? In fact, the way society have us going now, there is no such thing as evil. There's no such thing as people having an evil agenda. There's no such thing as a lie. We use terms like, it's just words, so, they're just talking. It has no effect. The Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. But we want to play it down, but let you say something. You're a savage troublemaker, but then when some people do some things, they call that, you can fill in the blank. And so what you have to understand, rights are for humans. Every human has a right. And the worst person that can deny you your rights are you. You know why? Negative thinking. You sometime, we sometime, I sometime talk ourselves out of the next opportunity that God may be presenting to us, because it doesn't come fully packaged. It comes sometime in the form of a seed. It looks so small, we're like, I don't have time to grow this. I need this right now. Come on, J.D. Wentworth. I want my money now. And many times what God is distributing to the believer is a seed. That seed could be a dream. It could be a vision. It could come from a conversation. It can be birthed through an ideal. But if you don't see yourself differently, then how does different happen? I'm going to say this to you. You just don't wake up and walk over to greatness. There is a process. So do we really know what it means? It's simple as we look into this month. I must have missed something here because this is jacked up. This lets you know it's live and real. I was reading my note, and this note don't even make sense to me. Okay, so I'm going to bypass that one. I don't know who wrote that one. The enemy may have wrote that one. I'm going to move on to this one because I really want to go over here to this sheet. This is when God gives me revelation. I know you can't see it, but I really want to go over here in this sheet, but I need to do the proper introduction for this course as we go through here. But here is the thing. Withdraw from allowing people to use you for their relevance. Stop being people's subject matter. And stop hindering yourself because someone wants you to be the subject matter. Withdraw from allowing people to use you to make themselves relevant as well. We have to stop thinking and measuring ourselves based on what they say or they said about us. There's some people, and I said this before, there's some people that are hung up on everything you say and all the positive things and the reinforcement that you give to the person or to the group. They don't remember any of that. They'll remember something from 20 years ago. You wouldn't let me drive the car. You've had 5 cars since then. Yeah, some of you just had a flashback. You told me no. At that time, no was the proper answer. You wouldn't help me, you helped them. Let me help a parent out. Sometime you can have the same 2 children, but each one have different needs. And that one that did not do right with what you gave them, you cannot continue to bail them out. But that one will get jealous of how you're helping the other one because they'll say, you didn't help me. Well, here's the problem. You wanted me to throw money in the ditch. Your brother Skillet was trying to come out the ditch, and he or she just needed a little help to get on the road. Now, I've helped you 17 times, and you have 19 failures. Am I right? But they'll come back and look at you like it's your responsibility to help them again. Your brother, your sister, and then this is what makes you high. Well, I know you got it. Well, now see, I like that. Say that again. Now disguise your voice because someone might be watching. I don't want you to get beat up when you get home. It'd be, oh boy, when he come in here, it's going to be something. It's going to be a knuckle sandwich. I mean, if you have it, it's not to give to them. Can I help you out? Listen, God gave most of us 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 feet, 2 legs, okay? Use them. He give a bird 2 wings. So it's up to the bird whether it flies or not. Come on. Come on. Nobody want to go with me now. You got 2 wings. You got a brain in between there. You got 2 ears, 2 eyes, hopefully 32 teeth and a tongue. 2 nostrils, 1 nose. Am I right? 2 hands, 2 elbows, 2 feet, 2 legs, 2 feet, 2 ankles, 10 toes, and 10 fingers. What's your excuse? What's your excuse? Because just like it took all 10 of my fingers to get my stuff, I didn't have an extra 20 to get yours too. Is this making sense? Here's what I want to get to. We must allow our intellect, intelligence, and I know people are tired of hearing that, and spiritual foresight determine who we are and not let our emotions, our feelings, and our mood destroy our seed. Criticism, this is a word that people is big right now and prevalent. You criticize me. As long as you live, somebody's going to say something that you don't agree with. Can I dissect that for a moment? If what they say will cause you to advance, embrace it. That didn't go over well. If they say something that is proper and correct, embrace it. If it has no value, the Bible talks about dust off your shoes and go on about your business. But if someone is giving you positive reinforcement, embrace it. Now, y'all not looking well. Ask me why. That's what's going to crack the seed, my brothers and sisters. That's a part of the germination. What you were is not what you're going to be. If you have been a caterpillar all your life, God is positioning you for the chrysalid, because you have to go through a metamorphosis in order to be what you are. I'll give it. You don't even have to look it up. Romans 12:1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, this is where we're going. Present your body a holy and living sacrifice unto God, which is your reasonable service. I think I got that right. My brain is running faster than my mouth. Verse 2. Be not conformed to this world, but by the renewing, the regeneration of your mind. I can't think of where this scripture is. It may be 2 Corinthians 5:17. It said, behold, old things have what? Passed away, and all things have become new. Here is what I want to teach you, and hopefully I can give you the introduction to this in 8 minutes. When I said shifting times, we're going from anxiety, uncertainty, and confusion on the cliff to understanding while we are there, we're there on purpose, because it's becoming shifting times. We are going to have to transform ourselves to be able to get the seed that God has planted in you to come to fruition. And I'll give you this short version of it that was kind of a speedy version on Sunday. If you're going to write this, write the shrinking window. I'm going to give you something when I spoke on Sunday about the seed. And I used the term, give me the seed. You keep the blessing, and you keep the miracle. Because miracles are not things that are reproduced. That's why they're called miracles. And God will do a miracle in your life, in my life. He will do a miracle in the just and the unjust life. God will show favor to people that you may feel doesn't deserve favor. But a miracle is a one-time thing. The Bible lets us know that while the children of Israel was in the wilderness, the Lord did 15 miracles while they were in the wilderness, and it didn't change their faith. Miracles don't make you believe. If you are blessed, he reigns on the just and the unjust. There are some people that are going to get blessed better and more than you. That is a blessing. The Lord commanded the earth that whatever is sown into it, it must produce more and produce it back. When I said on Sunday, give me the seed. Keep your miracle. Keep your blessing. Give me the thing that will reproduce in my life. The problem is we're not seeking things that will reproduce something in our life. And it comes down to two words. delayed gratification versus immediate gratification. For the things that will be sustainable for you in life are going to be delayed because they have not yet germinated. And if they are germinated, they have not yet rooted. And if it has rooted, it has not yet broken through the ground. And when it breaks through the ground, it's a tender plant. And when you decide to invest in yourself, and let me say this, if you want to piss people off, because I know some of y'all do, better yourself. If you want to change your environment, better yourself. Take an investment in your body. Are you feeding your body what it needs to take you the distance? Can the present body and the present condition of the body take you to the finish line? See, we all worried about who's standing up there with the trophy. You got to make sure you can get to the trophy. Is this making sense? The Bible says the beginning of the journey starts in your body. For a caterpillar to even become a butterfly, where does it start? It starts in the body, and it's a signal. The body signals the brain that it's time to spin a web. It's time to spin a chrysalis. It's time to go to school. It's time to re-enter school. It's time to finish school. It's time to grow up. It's time to buy a house. It's time to get confidence. It's time to see yourself different. It's time to trust God. It's time to elevate yourself. It's time to stand up for yourself. It's time to speak up for yourself. It's time to know yourself. It's time to invest in yourself. It's time to pull yourself together. It's time to work on your health. It's time for you to understand the time that God has given you. Because it's time you can't get back. You can't wait to 80 and say, oh, I should have went to school. You won't have the capacity. And I know they show you that one person that's 85 years old that's just not graduating. Where they gonna get a job at? Who gonna hire you? I told someone that was messing with me. I said, y'all don't know. I'm almost like, who that is there? Who that coming down that hall? Where am I going there? Who that is? Our eyes are getting dim. We're not young bunnies anymore. We old biscuits right now. Yeah, everybody got to adjust their glass. What you say? I said, you know it's bad when you got to do like this. But now I'm at a point. What that wood is right there. Then you can't hear, huh? Huh? And it's bad when you got to look at me. That's Jesus calling right there, y'all. But you see, we are not we're not living in real time in the real world. So let me give you 3 simple things as we embrace shifting times. You're going to have to pay attention and start investing in your body. This isn't with more clothes and more, new gym memberships. This is understanding that your body is to be the temple of the Holy Spirit. And there are certain things that we put in our bodies, whether it's food or whatever. Is it the best thing that we should be putting in our bodies? At a certain age, there's certain things that is very difficult for us to digest. I don't want to call no name, but there's some things you can't eat like you used to eat. There's some things that used to take 2 minutes and now it's taking almost 20. I'll let you read between the lines. So we got to position our bodies. And we have to do something that many of us haven't done. Develop our minds. What are you reading versus what are you hearing? And I understand every author is not legit. But do the research. Qualify. What author? Add this word to your spiritual, body, mind, and spirit. Add this word. Make sure what you're hearing is qualified information. Facts. Not illusion. Not hallucination. And not hypothetical thinking. On that note, I say God bless you. I'll look to see you soon.